Pregame.tv, we are here. Brady, Kannon, Steve Fezzik with our producer, Cade, in the background. He keeps telling me high energy. You know what that tells me? I'm low energy when I'm not on the air. It's been a long year. We're going to talk about live wagering, one of my specialties. I love live wagering. I'm a pain in the ass to be watching a game while I live wager because I'm like busy, distracted, no fun at all during the game. Cade, how about you?
I am not a live wagerer. I work hard all week long. I grind at what I'm going to do with this game. I'll make some plays early in the week. I might come back and buy a little back or do something different late in the week. But once the game kicks, I'm pretty much done. However, if I am at the LVH watching the game, I will oftentimes take advantage of the public announcer coming over, at a commercial break, and I'll run to the window with that stuff. But, that happens 2 or 3 times a year. For the most part, when it kicks off, I'm set and going to, try and root my side home. This is why I suck beyond belief as far as hosting anyone over at my place, all right?
We have to watch the game in low definition.
Oh, why is that?
Because if you watch it in high definition, you're on a delay regardless. If you watch it in high definition, you're at an 11-second delay. In low definition, you're on a 5-second delay.
Wow.
It's like 5 to 6 seconds ahead.
There's a handicapping tip for you, huh?
It's huge. So often, like if you submit something, like right before the play is already over with.
Right.
So, and these sports books are not adverse to you put in the play. Maybe they'll accept it if you run the ball and you get stuffed and you just bet on that team.
Right.
Okay, so that's my way to make sure I don't get pass posted. I'm not doing the pass posting, but I'm every now and then actually when you're up against a sports book that's watching the game in high definition, you're in low definition, you actually can get a bet in after the play has transpired. So, I mean, you don't want to do that on like will there be a first down or something, but just in general, if you're about to bet over, especially during a critical time, you have 3rd down and 5 from the other team's 45. I mean, that's a huge impact. Getting that first down and going into the red zone. I think we were debating off air, of course, about will there be a score in the first 5.5 minutes?
Yes.
6.5 minutes, 7.5 minutes. No one really knows.
Well, and whatever happens there, and I think what you're alluding to here is that's going to lead to live wagering opportunities.
Yeah, and my experience is every Super Bowl is the same. Everyone in the history of the Super Bowl, I'm going to lay it out what happens in the first quarter. This is the deal with the Super Bowls. Let's fade into the end of the first quarter, and the public has all bet the over, and here's their conversation. These teams suck. They can't score at all. You see this over ticket? Carolina, New England. I got Tom Brady. I got Carolina. They suck. I'm drawn dead. It's 0-0. We're into the second quarter. And then the funny business starts.
Yeah.
The crazy stuff starts. And you see it again and again, Super Bowls, the New York Giants, Baltimore Ravens.
Absolutely. I had the under in that game, and we were looking good.
Lock winner.
And bang, there was, I want to say, 3.5 touchdowns in about 40 seconds.
And you say to yourself, you're like, why didn't I play the alternative total under 29.5 plus 990, because and your eyes fool you, and too, because you see these teams and they can't move the ball at all.
Right.
And you know what? The body of work for the season is so much more important.
Sure.
Than what you see in that first quarter, because when the defenses are fresh, it makes all the difference in the world. They can put pressure on the quarterback. As soon as the defense gets gassed, they got to substitute their good pass rushers or leave in the guys that are gassed. And then all of a sudden, no defense can stop anyone without a pass rush.
Yeah, and that plays into what we were talking about with interconference matchups going over the total. Well, this is a little different because you've had 2 weeks to prepare. The defense is fresh. So like you're saying here, you're going to get a period of time where there probably is going to be less scoring.
Yes, and so I would say we talked about what's the optimal time to bet the over if you like the over, and I'm not adverse at all to the over, especially with the weather improving. I really think that the best time is to go ahead and play after the first quarter, and then to go ahead and look for selective spots. And so I'm going to try to lay this out as a best bet here, and go ahead and make it so that there's a clear-cut buy buy sign here.
Well, and if your theory is correct that first quarter is going to be low scoring, then you're going to get value on that over that you want to bet after the first quarter hits 0-0. What's the game? 47 right now. If the first quarter ends 3-0 or something like that, what's the total going to be for the game? 40.5?
I think that's spot on. Depends on how bad the offenses look. Depends on the field position. By the way, Seattle in their last 12 games, how many touchdowns have they given up in the first quarter?
None.
Yeah. Exactly right.
Yeah, and I remember I was rooting for the 49ers against Seattle a couple weeks ago, and I remember hearing that. And San Francisco, it was exhilarating, that first play with Aldon Smith recovering the fumble.
That was horrendous. That was exhilarating. I had first quarter under 7.5 for like my biggest bet on the game.
Well, you liked it when they kicked a field goal, and we all heard about that Seattle has not surrendered a touchdown in the first quarter.
That was
sure
in my
enough,
write-up.
they did not.
That was in my write-up.
And I think that was part of the game. The fact that they could not, the fact that they could not punch that in for a touchdown was huge.
Yeah, and I think at the as far as that, I think it's very illustrative. You look at that game, and it lands 40, and if you saw that first quarter 3-0, you're like, can't score. Teams are unable to move the ball. You look at the San Diego-Denver game, for instance, where it's midway through the third quarter. San Diego can't score. Yep. So, as far as to quantify when to bet, let me make this as a free play in live wagering, if I can.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Okay, here's the deal. I love saying that. VR says that all the time. Here's the deal, folks. We start at 47. We are going to do dollar cost averaging on the total. I want you to just keep hitting click. Don't watch the game because you get confused and you'll think that you can handicap that it's going to go under the whole game, and it won't keep going under. When that total drops below 43, I want you to put a unit on the over. Then if it drops ever down to 39, you put another unit on the over. And finally, if it drops below 37, put a third unit on the under. Dollar cost averaging. Now, you're saying, Fezzik, what happens if the Chicago Bear runs the kickoff back for the very first play of the game? Hey, it happens. Then you don't have any bets on the over. So be it. But what I really like here is you're going to get a much better number than everybody else who played the game. Yes, if it's a shootout from the get-go, then you're going to be out of luck and people are going to be cashing tickets and you're not going to have a ticket to cash. But in this case, the beauty here is everyone else is going to be watching this saying, these teams can't score, and they're going to panic and be playing under when you're just sitting back and smirking and playing the over. Because you know what? That random play can certainly occur. The blocked punt, the look at New England where they snapped it over the idiot punter's head, and then the announcer said he should have taken a touchdown instead of a safety. Still trying to figure that one out myself, but that is my best bet. Dollar cost averaging. We're going to go over 3 points, get 3 units potentially on this total as we go along. Brady, what do you think?
It reminds me of exactly what I was doing with the Denver-New England playoff game. The game started out at a total of, about 56, and no scoring. And I just kept waiting, because I had a feeling that if this number got low enough, I was ready to pounce. And this was a live wagering experience for me at the LVH.
34, right? It got as low as that? Was that the low point?
I thought it was about 37 or 38.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I didn't wait long enough. I wasn't patient enough. I took it at 45, which was 11 points lower than the actual total. And I thought I made a pretty good play.
Goes back to the
I was well into the second quarter.
Yeah, it goes back to that dollar cost averaging, and then the natural reaction when they don't score for another 4 minutes, you say, "Oh, I don't want to bet it anymore."
Yeah,
and it's even better then.
Yes, yeah. So I missed that one. I had the right idea, good effort, like your coach says when you're 5 years old, but I missed it.
Not very good. Not so
but,
good.
Along the lines of what you're telling the viewers here, and so I'm learning.
One thing I will say about that, it's remarkably effective when you have 2 good quarterbacks.
Yeah, Brady and Manning, right?
If you have 2 good quarterbacks playing, the game does not end typically, unless a crazy win, 16 to 10.
I'm surprised it didn't get. I missed that 45 by 1 score.
Yes, it certainly could have happened. Wes Welker getting tackled by the 30-yard line on a punt return. The end of the half when Welker tips it to the defender.
Well, what really killed us in that game was the Patriots couldn't muster much of anything.
No.
They were beaten handily.
Giselle said it best. My husband can't throw the ball and catch the ball
at
the same time. All right. Well, we have really enjoyed talking football here at pregame.tv throughout the entire year. Brady gave us a winner, thank goodness, because he apparently put up a couple losers for free plays. We're sorry. No one reads those during football season. You're cool.
Okay, good.
You're cool.
Good.
They only look at the videos. He has a surefire winner. He says, if you don't win with this bet, he will buy you a car. This man is lying. No, stay with us. He's got a solid bet. Pregame.tv. We'll talk the Houston Open PGA.